Hello everyone, Novian here. We're back with Hunter x Hunter Volume 27. The Chimera Ant Palace Invasion is nearing its climax, or well, I mean, not the climax specifically, but, the climactic fight of Netero versus Merum is starting, and some of the other fights we've had going on are concluding, like Youpi versus Knuckle, Shoot, and Moral now. Moral joins in. They have their fight, and oh man, it's so good. It's so good. Like a recurring theme throughout this arc is how the Chimera Ants, become more and human-like and are changed in different ways from their interactions with humans. I kind of slept on Yuppie's development. It, I feel like it's probably not as commonly talked about. I think, or maybe that's just my bias. I haven't actually interacted much with Hunter x Hunter fandom at large. You know, really, I only keep up with Bleach fandom stuff, so I guess that's my problem. Now I will catch up to the manga during this read through, so I'll probably try to tap back into Hunter x Hunter fandom stuff since trying to avoid spoilers has kept me out a bit. And Jesus Christ, the artwork here is so great. Look at this shit, man. It's amazing. Tagashi's awesome. Awesome artist, man. But yeah, Yuppie is has grown. He's like kind of it feels like a subversion of like the rage, like meathead rage guy, I think of like Yami from Bleach, it was like all big muscles and rage, 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 mad and stuff. Like a big giant guy. But yeah, Yuppie like he tries to control his rage and compartmentalize it, and it it's cool seeing how it interacts with Knuckle and Moral. Knuckle, man, Knuckle at the end, he releases APR. That's crazy. I forgot about that. That is a bit crazy how he did that. Like, that was their one way to beat uh fucking Yuppie. But at the end, through the battle, it led Yuppie to spare their lives because he just kind of like he just kind of like left to get to the king's side, and that's it's one of the changes that changes the Khmer ants that have happened through just the course of the battle. Not even half an hour. Actually, we're not even like 10 minutes in. I think. What was that thing on this fucking thing? On the spread that I just showed me? Nine? Yeah. We were like 9 minutes, 30 seconds in the fucking battle, man. Uh, it, it's great. It's crazy how much so much happens in so little time. But anyways, there's also uh kind of jumped over Ikago's battle with it was Elf Nine? No, from the crab guy. Don't even remember his name. Damn it. He's not. It's not Borden. Borden is Ikago fought hard. He's fighting hard, but he couldn't bring it himself to kill his opponent that he could have killed easily. Which I think, it's interesting how, examining, psyche of character. I'm just babbling, man. Oh my god. Maybe you could, interpret it as like he couldn't bring himself to take down another Chimera ant, or it's just his own nature, Calgo is too good for this world. Confirmed. And, coming back to the APR, one thing I was thinking about is how Moral chastised Cheetah for having an ability that wasn't suited for him, really. And how, like, it wasn't the ability he had, so he wanted to race, but the ability didn't really incorporate, really incentivize racing. That makes me wonder, why does Knuckle have APR? Like Knuckles, he's more like a delinquent type guy. At least is what his design says. He's a very prideful guy, and I'm actually like wonder, why wouldn't he be more suited for a more straightforward, you know, ability than one that requires you to like sit back. Well, not just sit back, because APR you are incentivized to still keep fighting because you gain more interest in the bank. So it's not like it's a bad ability for him. It just feels like it might not be the best. I'm not sure. Is Do we know what type of Nen type he has? Because it feels like he should be, according to Hisoka's personality test, which I guess isn't purely canonical, but kind of suggested by the narrative is sort of true. That he would be an emitter, or not enhancer, but APR can't be an enhancer ability. Wouldn't it be like a conjurer, right? He conjures the ability, the guy, and maybe something else. Part specialists. I'm not sure. Um, yeah, it is interesting seeing Knuckle Morals fight with Youpi. Um, really, I think you can look at the characters of all three Moral Guards, and how they've been influenced by humans and some in different ways. It's been great. Um, perhaps Poof less than most, because he hasn't really. His fight was mostly is like waiting, not much talking, didn't do much talking or conflict with Moral. But there was some interesting stuff going on there too. Um, Basically, Moral fucked up when he struck down the cocoon that Poof had. But yeah, it's partially limited information, because like Poof, he can shrink down and have his body escape. He can like shrink down to, well, he can split his body apart, and the more he splits it apart, the more mini Poofs, and there could be like millions and billions of mini Poofs, this size of like, I don't know, molecules or whatever. However, the main body has to be the size of a bee. So, and you can't escape through the cracks of the smoke in the size of a bee. So, Moral's best bet would be to just keep Poof in there. So, because Poof, he can still do some stuff outside of it, outside of the thing, but without his main body um, out there, it wouldn't be that great. Probably still worth keeping him in there. Although as the series that was narrator was talking about, it kind of did help, right, with keeping uh, Knuckle alive. So maybe that's good, you know. But like Moral, he was just kind of getting tired, you know, like his nerves were getting on him. So he did like a suboptimal play. You know, that happens, you know. I do that in Pokemon Champions all the time, man. I get that. I get that. And there was an interaction between Poof, Pito, and Gon. That was interesting. Basically, Pito had to give Poof the rundown of the situation, and in that way, Pito gave Poof the direction that Merum went in without Gon noticing. Because Gon was like, I'll kill you, man," or I'll kill uh, Kamugi." Although maybe at this point, Poof wouldn't care. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Poof would care. Pito really cares. Pito is full on Kamugi must live at all costs. At nothing else. That is how they express their devotion to the king. The rest of the other two, they're making a beeline for the king. No pun intended with Pito or Poof, him being a bee guy. Uh, no pun intended. And they're making a beeline to the king. The king's fighting Netero. He doesn't want to fight Netero. Merum's like, "Hey, let's talk," and Netero's like, "I don't want to talk." Uh, and it is a flipping of the script, you can say, to the classic shonen, you know, battle where the main guy just wants to talk. I'll talk no jutsu you know, but it's not the protagonist. It's it's the old guy. The protagonist isn't even here. Gon never sees. Well, no, Gon did see Meruem, right? When when Netero pointed towards Pito's direction, but they never exchanged words. It's a very very interesting direction to go in for Takashi to do that. Um, but you know the big old guy, the old man, badass old man trope or character archetype is still present with Netero, but they're still doing the thing where like Netero doesn't want to talk. He just wants to fight. He just wants to defeat uh Merum. That was the orders given by, well, the association. He's a chairman. Um who is this organization that's giving? Like, who are these guys? Are they like the chair board, the board of directors, the guys that could vote him out? I don't know. Are they like the owner? I don't know. Is this like a higher organization? I'm not. I'm not sure what's going on here, but it's his duty to defeat Merum. Because right now, Merum's like right now. It's like okay, maybe some, maybe some humans can live like Kamugi and like you guys that are fighting us. You're talented. Maybe you can live, and then like I'll destroy borders and create communism or whatever. He's getting there. He just wants to, but Netero just wants to fight just before he starts to second guess himself, and that's probably the great way to go. Uh, and then we got the 100 type Guan Yin Bodhisattva, which is very cool. Very cool. Very extremely fast. Not quite powerful enough to make Merum sweat, at least right now. But we will see how that develops as the fight goes on. Man, look at Netero's rage here. If only I can teach him a lesson. Teach him a lesson. This isn't just about duty, you know. Like there are personal. There's like personal emotion and stuff behind this, man. Uh, and then he uses the fact that he knows Merum's name to get Merum to stop just trying to talk. Is like, oh, if you can make me admit defeat, I'll tell you your name. Uh, and that's where the volume, and that's a great volume. That's great. It's peak. Hunter x Hunter's peak. It's great. I love it. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.